Good evening. Welcome. Welcome to my talk. Tonight, the topic is forgiveness and you. In no way I'm saying that only you needs forgiveness. I am saying here, when I say forgiveness and you, it means me, it means all of us, alright? Okay? We all have to forgive. It does not matter where you are or under what circumstances, sooner or later, we all need to do forgiveness. Okay? So, as I said, the topic for tonight is forgiveness and you. I have talked previously about forgiveness. There is one tape, was quite a few months ago, and the title was just forgiveness. So let me tell you a little bit about what I mentioned in that tape. There are all kinds of forgiveness, you know. In that tape I gave an example of an event that happened. The forgiveness this time was that I had done it to myself. The person that I thought had hurt me had no idea what she was doing. I actually had been to a meeting, discussion on the course, and the person in charge, when she was answering questions and answers, I did not like the way she was handling the questions and the answers. Of course, I was judging in a way. So this example was an example by which this poor creature didn't even know that she was hurting me. All right, and that was the topic at that time, was based on that example. So this time I want to talk about the other type of forgiveness by which the person that we think that we feel has hurt us is really aware that he has hurt us. Okay? I don't have to give you examples, but I'm sure you'll find them in your own lives. Someone that hurt you physically, so this person certainly was aware that he or she was hurting you, or someone that hurt you verbally, that said something that it was really very painful. So what happened in this case? In this case, is two people were actually kind of irritating each other and being aware of what they were doing. Whereas in the previous example I gave you a few months ago, only I was aware that this person was hurting me. But now, I want you to think, each of you individually, about the examples in your life where you and the other person, the offender and the offendee, were aware of this reciprocal irritation or upsetting. Okay? So, obviously in that case, now let me say something else. There is no order of difficulty of forgiveness, as there is no order of difficulty of miracles, which means there is no order of difficulty of a change in perception. It is not more difficult to heal cancer than it is to heal a bad relationship. So the form may seem different, and certainly the form from cancer to a bad relationship is very different, but the process is the same. So we are the ones that have to have faith and the will to go through the process. Okay? So in this case where two people get irritated and upset and very mad at each other, how we're going to handle the situation? How are we going to handle the situation? I'm sure you can think of many ways to handle it. You can think if someone threw a glass at you, you can think of what? Throwing another glass back at the person. All right? And if your a darling husband threw a lipstick at you, you can think of throwing his electric shaver at him. Try and break his head, okay? Because the machine is bigger than the lipstick. All right? We can think of all kinds of retaliation. We can think of returning attack with attack. But this is not the purpose of my talk, is it? This is not the purpose of all of us realizing that we need to do something else besides attacking. All right? We have been attacking each other for millions of years. Consequently, we all know that attack solves nothing, but leads to more attack, to more pain, to more stress, to more conflicts. Not only between people, but between nations. All right? So each of us is here to do our small part, which may turn out to be much more important than any of us ever realize. Because these days we are all very preoccupied with doing big things, you know. It has to have a big impact, what we do. Otherwise it does not seem to be that important. Well, we learn when we are going through any spiritual path that each one has a mission to accomplish. And sometimes the smallest thing that we do, or sometimes even the least important thing that we do or think about, is the one that has more reflection and that has more extension of love. And it is far more important than we can ever imagine. So let me go back to what I was talking about. Your examples and my examples, let's have this in our minds of people that have really hurt us. And let's talk about another type of reaction, which is, instead of acting physically, do it mentally. All right? Instead of continuously reciprocating the attack with attack, we are all going to eventually realize sooner or later you may have to let go of that person. If it's a husband or if it's a family member or whatever, you may have to separate from that person physically. But you will have to want to be at peace sooner or later. And you can only achieve peace of mind if you work with your mind. Which means that you have to remember love in order to let go of hate and anger. All right? So, how are we going to do it? Do you have to go to that person that has offended you and hurt you, attacked you, whatever? You have to meet the person, you have to go to the person and say, I ask for forgiveness, or I forgive you. Do you forgive me? You have to physically encounter this person. The answer is no, but it's up to you. More important, far more important than to go to the person and confront this person who may not be ready to do any work with his or her mind. Okay? This person may not be ready. We have to be very careful. We cannot impose thoughts of love on anybody. They have to do it themselves. Yes, you may write a letter to this person. Yes, you may go to the individual. Yes, you may have a conference that lasts 5 hours, leads you nowhere. But more important than that is to sit down with your own thoughts and ask the light to dispel the darkness, which is another form of saying forgive. Now, some of you may be thinking about what I was talking about a few minutes ago. What about if it is the other person that really harmed you? You've done nothing wrong. The other person is the one that harmed you. Maybe a lot, maybe a little. It doesn't matter. You are hurt, mentally or physically or both. All right? This is why we cannot do this by ourselves. It is very hard to remember love, especially when you are hurt, especially physically hurt. It is why, then, we have to ask our guide, the guide in our minds, and the names for the guide may be the names that you choose. Could be the loving light, God, the Christ light, the Holy Spirit, a bridge to our higher self. In the Course in Miracles is the Holy Spirit. Do not let words stop you. Thoughts about all these images that we have built in for so many years in our minds, don't let them stop you. There is within you a guide ready to help you. We teach here, or we learn here, that we don't meet anyone by accident. This is very important. You did not meet the person that hurt you by accident. It's all part of a prearranged plan. And we are all chosen people, so that we can correct our thoughts. But the other individual that is with us, that has hurt us, has also been chosen for us. So let us appreciate, in a way, the chance that we have to remember love.